Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Mama Birds. I am Robin if you're new, and today we are going to share a huge grocery haul. We just got back from a trip down to Vancouver, a little bit of an impromptu trip, and on the way home we stopped in Ashcroft and picked up a bunch of fruit. And for those of you in BC, you know who this is. It's yours truly, Desert Hills. They are unbelievable program. They have unbelievable quality and unbelievable pricing for fresh fruit and veggies. So if you're in the area, stop in. It's amazing. It's great for kids too. They have some animals on the farm, and it's just a really great vibe and atmosphere. So check them out. If you don't have time to stop in at Ashcroft, they do have a taco stand just past Cache Creek on the highway, just north of Cache Creek. So stop in there too and check them out. So we'll get right into it. So this is all of the produce with the exception of some snacking. We did get 4 of these and we did get a few more of these, and that's just all that's left. But for the most part, this is what we got. So starting on this side, we have 4 of each type of bell pepper. These are going to be used for salsa. These I'm just going to chop up and throw in the freezer. I'm probably going to do 3 in the freezer and 2 in the fridge, and then we'll snack through those. So 4 bell peppers, and I mean, like, these are huge. They're massive for $1. And in my local store, I would probably pay about $6 for each set of 4. Tomatoes were $4.99 for 5 pounds. So we got field tomatoes and Roma tomatoes. Again, we're gonna use some salsa. I think we'll probably use mostly the Romas for the salsa and then some field tomatoes, but we really like tomato sandwiches. So we're gonna have some tomato sandwiches, and then whatever we don't eat up will go into the salsa. Apples we got, these were $1.75 a pound. We got a few, and my kiddo has been snacking. He loves them. Avocados were 4 for $1, I believe, or maybe 2 for $1, less, about 50 cents each, I think. I'm not sure, but they were very ripe, so I only got two. I think I only got 2 actually. I think I said earlier I got 4, but they were very, very ripe, so I only got a couple. Melons, these were $2.50 each. In the store, I would probably be paying closer to $5 for each of these, and honestly, I've never even seen this one before in the store. So this is another type of melon. I'm not 100% sure of the variety, so if you know what it is, let me know how it goes. I'm not really sure, but we're gonna try it and see how that tastes. We also got 2 massive zucchinis. Like, these are huge. They're bigger than my forearm, as you can see, but they are going to be great. Shredded is my plan, and then I'll show you how I do it, but I'm gonna end up freezing those versus eating them fresh, because they're a little bit more tough and seedy when they're fresh, this large. We got 25 pounds of peaches, and we paid $1.79 per pound. So it ended up being about $24 or so. I'm not 100% sure. It wasn't exact weight, so it was difficult for me to actually estimate. And we've been eating through it. This box was full for sure. But yeah, if you ever are in Ashcroft, check out Desert Hills. They are awesome. It's a great, fantastic, family-friendly location to get produce, and extremely budget-friendly, and the quality is exceptional. So check them out if you're ever in BC. Just getting back from this trip, my whole family has been extremely ill, so I have little to no energy right now, and this is a lot of food to deal with, especially feeling as I feel. So I'm going to try and do this, spread this out a little bit over the next couple days, and get started with the priority items, and that is salsa. So tomato prep and pepper prep and all the things prep to make salsa, and then I'm gonna work on my peaches. Here we are doing our bell peppers to get started. These green ones are the ones that we are going to put in the salsa, but like I said, we're doing prep today. So I'm just cutting the top off the bell pepper. I try and cut it as close to the stem as possible, and then I just go in with my knife along this, what are they called? The seams, what are they called? The veins of the bell pepper? I'm not sure, that white bit. And I just go in and I just kind of nip them off the edge of the bell pepper, and it comes out so clean and perfect every time. I love how I cut them like this because I'm also getting as much out of the bell pepper as I can. The top bit is what kicks my butt sometimes when I'm watching videos of people cutting vegetables or just prepping food in general. They always end up like, trying to jimmy around the edge of the stem, and it drives me crazy. So please try it this way and save yourself some time and utilize the vegetable as much as you can. Watch, it's just going to pop right out. Boom. And you get the whole thing right there on your cutting board. So please try it this way and cut your bell peppers so you're getting the most out of them. I did end up setting about half of a bell pepper aside because the recipe that I was using only needed 3 or 3.5 bell peppers. So I'm just going to call this some meal prep for later on, some snacking, whatever you want to call it. We did need some sweet onions, so I just grabbed this one out of the fridge. It's been in there for a while, probably longer than I'd like to admit, but it's in really great shape. So if it had not been, I probably would have used my frozen onions, my frozen sweet onions that I have in this recipe for however much I needed. But this onion was in great shape, so we ended up using this one and then a few of the frozen ones as well. I will say too that this recipe was so simple, had really great basic ingredients. And that's really what I was looking for in a salsa, because I love jalapenos. I love cilantro. I love all of the spices and herbs and all of the things that you can put into salsa, but not everybody does. So my family, we do enjoy those things in different increments, but not all the time. So there was the bowl of peppers. That is going to be part of our salsa. And now I'm on to prepping the rest of the bell peppers that we got from the farm. Again, I'm doing the bell peppers all exactly the same way. I'm cutting off the tops close to the stem, getting in there with my knife and removing that core bit. And then these I'm just going to dice up, and I'm actually going to put them into Ziploc bags so that we can put them in the freezer. But the bell peppers were so beautiful. When you cut into a fresh bell pepper, like freshly picked bell pepper, it's just a different game. So I definitely encourage you, if you are in BC, they are in Ashcroft, check out Desert Hills. There are a few other farms that do travel in BC. I'm not sure how it works for other provinces, but they are just a great operation there. So definitely check them out. These yellow ones were exceptionally dirty around the tops of the stems. So when you see me kind of tossing that top bit aside, I'm actually pitching it back into my strainer so that I can rewash those tops, because they weren't very clean coming out of the washing stage of this step. So we get them all chopped up, which is really great. We ended up with, we got 4 of each type of bell pepper, and then we chopped them all up, and we ended up getting, I believe, 3 Ziploc bags with 3 cups each, something like that. But this is more than enough bell peppers for us to get through, I would say, a few months at the minimum, maybe even past Christmas. And we're, in August here. So here's the Ziploc bags full of all the beautiful fresh peppers. And I was super happy with the quality of them and with the crunchiness and the flavor. The yellow ones were very, very mild. I'd never had those ones before, so that was really fun to try. And then the purple ones were just, again, very mild. I find with some bell peppers, they're either super sweet and you can only put them in certain things, or like green peppers, they're super bitter. And again, you can only put them in, super hearty dishes like, tomato sauce or something like that. But these ones were super light and super lovely. Like you would have been able to eat these like an apple, no problem. So I'm going to put the full bags of peppers, the 3 full bags of peppers into the freezer. And then the other bag there, we're just going to put that in the fridge, and we're going to use that as meal prep and snacking and that sort of thing for the next few days. So onto tomatoes. You can see I've got a little bit of a snack going there. Tomato sandwich is a huge hit in our house. And so I'm just cutting up all of the Roma tomatoes for the salsa. The recipe that I was following called for 16 cups of tomatoes, and I decided to have that. It was, what she said was 10 pint jars, and I just thought that that was just going to be too much, and I honestly didn't think that I was going to have enough tomatoes. But one of those packs, the 5-pound packs of tomatoes, ended up being about what I would say probably 10 cups. So Anyways, I halved the recipe. So what you saw me put in that bowl is about 8 cups of tomatoes. I'm putting these tops into a Ziploc bag, and those are also going into the freezer. Shout out to Jessica over at Three Rivers Homestead. She's doing Every Bit Counts challenge. And let me tell you, I'm the last person to throw those tops away because they will be perfect in any kind of soup or stew or add flavor to broth. So we keep everything around here. We only had a few of the Romas left, and then we moved on to these zucchinis. Like I said, the zucchinis are a bit large, and that was intentionally purchased like this because I wanted to put them in the freezer. So I'm just cutting off some of those field markings. Field markings are really just where the fruit itself is sitting on the ground or on, the mulch or whatever it is that the item is being grown in. And it just creates like a little bit of an imperfection. There's nothing wrong with them, but I just cut them off, and we are going to grate all of the zucchini and put it in freezer bags. I do end up setting about 2 cups aside for me to make a zucchini bread over the next couple days, but I'm literally in the middle of cooking dinner on this day and trying not to lose my stomach. So it was pushing it to get through this step, but I'm so glad that I did, and it was so well worth it. These 2 zucchinis ended up being, I think, 14 cups of shredded zucchini for perspective. So if you are looking at doing some shredded zucchini, like, this is a lot of it. But I was super grateful, and I am not regretting it for a second. I do apologize that a lot of these last couple of videos were done with voiceover, but like I said, I was just so sick and I couldn't even bring myself to look at the camera, let alone speak on it. So it was just a decision that I had to make at that moment, and I made it, and it was fine. And the video ended up being exactly what I needed it to be, and that was showing you guys all the beautiful produce that we got from the farm and how I preserve it for my small little family here in the Central Cariboo area. We do live in Canada, so sometimes it is difficult for us to grow some of the produce in our area that we want to put up on our shelves, but relying on our southern cousins from the southern parts of our province is just such a beautiful thing, and being able to pick up all of this wonderful fruit was a huge surprise, but wonderful, and couldn't be more excited about it at this stage now that I'm finished with all of this project and prep. But looking forward to the next step, which is actually preserving the salsa and preserving our peaches. So if you're interested in homemaking or cooking or food preservation, mom life, tips, tricks, all of that stuff, consider subscribing, sticking around, because there will definitely be a lot more on our plate coming down here in the next few days. I honestly am really having such a wonderful time making these videos, and it's been a long time coming. It's been a project that I've really been trying to work on and, improving every day. And my skill of actually getting, acceptable angles it's not there, but it will come. And, I live in this home that I'm sharing you all of this stuff in. And, I'm always going to have dirty dishes on the counter. I'm always going to have toys on the floor. And that's just a reality of my life. And it's okay. And all that to say, I am super grateful for the opportunity to do this. I am looking forward to the next upcoming projects, and we will catch you in the next one.